waiting for that bell. All right, that's 4 p.m. Happy Friday to everybody. This is the all-time high stream. We get a couple of these every once in a while, especially in a big bull market like this. So we're going to close the week out of Friday, June 27th, and this is officially an all-time high on the S&P 500. I define that as when a weekly bar closes above the prior all-time high. And I want to talk a little bit about sentiment this week. Because yeah, do you guys remember 3 months ago when the economy was going to crash, the world was going to end, all that good stuff? Pepperidge Farm, the numbers. And I'm gonna look at some of those headlines from CNBC, just to see where we are now. I mean, that was back in April. That was 2 months ago. Excuse me. That was about 2.5 months ago. Uh, the world was going to end, and here we are making a new all-time high. Did I know this for sure? No, but I tried to be a "we'll see" Chad about it when everyone was sure they've just become tariff experts. But that also kind of leaves me a little disappointed because what do you do at an all-time high? What do you buy? What do you sell? Or do you wait? But let's let people filter in, and we'll talk about that a little bit and look at a couple of things that might be outside the purview of stocks. So hang out till the end of the music. I'll be right back. Um, oh my God. Oh my God. I did it again. Oh, I was muted for literally 12 minutes, guys. I'm sorry. Ah, I was on a roll too. Ah, damn. Could you guys at least tell what I was talking about, maybe? Am I visual enough? See, I muted that when I adjusted my chair because it creaks. I'm gonna quit doing that. All right. Oh, okay. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. You guys are good friends. All right. So let me see if I can remember what I was talking about. Oh, a little bit. I know I was animated. Okay. So all right, let's rehash it. So today, yeah, it was epic. Thanks, Jeremiah. So what I was talking about was the two things basically happened this day, today. Trading setups, spikes. Okay. So God, it was so good. I was on a roll because it had some coffee, my little, little mug. So um, you know what? It's important. So I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. So hopefully people just joining now can understand. All right. So spikes, false breakouts. That's what I was looking for today on the market. All right. And you can see these false breakouts on any time frame. And that's why they're so useful. And that's why they're one of basically the three, I wouldn't say pillars, but the three things I trust the most in trading is when price gets going one way and it goes back the other way. Think about it this way. When people think that something's going to happen, when people are all like attached to this narrative, whether it's a big narrative on the long term or if it's a short term trading one, imagine people, they see here at the beginning of the day today, uh, this is the S&P 500 futures. Okay. Starting at about, 9:29, 1 minute before the open today. Imagine someone goes in and they take a short position, right? And what's a good stop to have there? Probably there, or maybe you want a bigger stop. You're going to do it there, okay? And so you get into it, but then what happens when you get into that short trade and it doesn't go your way? Now you're going to have a stop up here, and what happens is if you thought it was going one way and you're starting to lose money, people exit the position, they get liquidated, whatever, and it flies the other way. And that's why it's really useful. And I programmed this indicator in TradingView. If you message me on Discord, you can have it for free. I actually need to recode it because it won't let me on TradingView do ideas with it anymore, but that's fine. I think I know the fix for that. But it really just shows how price will fly in one direction and swing down the other direction. Okay. And so that was a great that's what I was looking at today to happen on the weekly of the S&P 500 futures or SPY and SPX. But we can see what happened today. That spike, that false breakout was what triggered a big run up today. And so this is on a 1 minute time frame that I was looking at. And so what I was looking for on, let's just do SPX. What I was looking for this week was, how are we doing on data? Ooh, we're getting some data lag. One second. One second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go check something.
Set to 70 degrees.
I'm back. All right. Let's see. Okay, we're back to green. Had to go, I think my was overheating. Anyway, so what I was looking for today was for us to get a false breakout on the weekly of the market. Because I was short. I want to be a contrarian. I want to go against. Checking to make sure I'm not muted. But we didn't get it. In fact, what was interesting though, because that line right there is the SPX all-time high. That is was 6147. Okay, on SPX. Wait, we got to go to this. Okay. right in this last hour or two, we got back below that level. We almost false breakout. We almost had a false breakout on the weekly of the stock market. But at the end of the day, they saved it and ran that puppy up. But why that's important? Why that's important is because if you go back to just earlier this year, and we kind of reset the all-time high to where it was, the all-time high basically up to that point back in February was set in January. It was at 61.28. And then this is a weekly bar here. And you see how in the middle of the week, it punched up, made a new all-time high, and then by the close of the week, boom, rejected. That is what I want to see for a short. I want to see that in anything, whether it's a 1 minute of futures, if it's a cryptocurrency, if it's Bitcoin, which, by the way, Bitcoin has done many weeks in a row, actually, over the past 2 months, which is why I'm bearish on it. And yeah, that's what I'm typically looking for. So that really predicated this whole rundown. And so now back to where I was talking about, where I wanted to kind of look at, rehash some of these narratives. Okay, so I already asked Grok to put this together. What was it? So yeah, stocks ended another tumultuous day. Where was it? Waves of volatility shook the market anew. Where's the thumbnail that I did? Hold on. Let's see. This was one that I pulled for the thumbnail since it can't bring it up. So yeah, this was April. President Donald Trump's tariffs threaten to paralyze international trade, risking market collapse and global recession. That was April the 7th on CNBC, which was the bottom. So, and they make fun of Kramer for always getting it wrong, but he's just really a news guy. Like, if you want to have a following on social media or media, just talk about what everyone's feeling. Just tell people, when something is really, really hot, that it's just the best thing ever. And well, you don't need to talk about stuff when it's dead because nobody cares. I like stuff when it's dead. I like to buy stuff when nobody cares. I like to buy stuff like, discount retail stores like Dollar General, when people look at me funny, like, why would you want to do that? Well, the reason I want to do that is because it's up about 50% this year. But yeah. So what do we buy? What do we buy? Oh, and when it comes to Bitcoin, let's go ahead and talk about that because yeah, crypto is the big thing. I've been talking about crypto for a very long time. And just real quick. So the past all-time high that was set back in January of this year was 109,354, and it has had 1, 2, 3 false breakouts on the weekly. Now it's trying it again. It's testing it again. And last week on the whole the eyes, it's the same conflict for the last 2,000 years. Nobody cares anymore. I mean, it was good to knock things down a little bit. But as I said last week, if this pullback had been swift, then you would have had a chance of, I'm using Ichimoku, by the way. You would have had a really good chance of this, like, holding a support and it flying up and building up the momentum it needed to break the high. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm very much a will see Chad when it comes to all things market. I think that's the best way to do it with trading. In fact, I mean, Trading the Zone book that people ask me, like, what book should I read for trading? Reminiscence of a Stock Operator and Trading the Zone. And the TLDR of Trading the Zone is anything can happen. And man, I tell you something, when we were back in April or in March and April, and everyone was assured that the market was going to crash, that we were going to have a massive recession, I was like, you know what? What if we don't? What if we don't? And I want you guys to, like, remember that. I want you to think about that. Like, go back in the feelings of the market 2.5 months ago, not even 3 months ago, and just the fear, the articles. Go back and do a search for the articles and look at social media and kind of remember yourself. Like, how did you feel at the time? Like, I myself, I'm like, I'm not going out and buying, everything on margin then, but I definitely took that as an opportunity to add to my tax advantaged accounts. It was a big pullback, and a little too many people were thinking that that was the end of the world. You gotta, it's that's why investing is so hard, because you got to do it. It's everyone can quote the Warren Buffett, be greedy when others are fearful. But the problem is, you are everyone. I'm everyone. And so cutting through your own emotions, as well as, when you're being inundated, and we all have this lemming kind of mentality. That's what makes this thing so hard. We all want to do what everyone else is doing, because that's what has served us evolutionarily for so long. But trading means you got to do the opposite. Um, but one thing that is happening, I think today the big news had to do with Trump. Let's see, was it Trump? I don't talk about politics, by the way, on my live streams. I keep that pretty low, because nobody wants to hear people's opinions. But when it pertains to markets, it does matter. So that's when I do care. And I will say this about Trump: he is volatility distilled. He's distilled volatility. Uh, he's great for trading, because you never know what's going to happen. But this was the news today. There's going to be some trade war going on with Canada. And someone said to me, just kind of offhand, well, I need to short the Canadian dollar. What? Let's take a step back. Let's take a step back, because now you're in my world. I mean, I'm not an expert on it, but I have been trading Forex for longer than I have anything else, like 15 years. And so you need to kind of understand what's going on in foreign exchange, what's going on in currency wars. Everyone's focused on cryptocurrency, but there's a way bigger market out there of regular currencies. And if you watch my live stream for any number of time, and you go on Twitter, I mean, I'm doing stuff that, is not really too sexy, but things like, going long Canadian dollar from earlier in the year. So about March. So back around February or March, I went long Canadian dollar, and do that through Forex. Forex is the word for trading currencies, dollar versus CAD. So the three letters on the left are like your numerator, and your three letters on the right are your denominator, and that's the division. Or if you want to put it this way, you can go on trading, you just do CAD USD. Now you're looking at Canadian dollar itself versus the United States dollar. And again, what kind of strategy do I use? I like to do false breakouts. And going back to 2016, the Canadian dollar made a low versus the US dollar of 68 cents. And then it did it again in 2020. And then what did it do? Earlier this year, around February, it did a spike. It did a spike of that low. So triple bottom spike, put my long off the Tinkinson, the red line, which is 50% of the 9 bars around it. That's what I base it on, and up it goes. And one of the things that made me feel pretty confident about this trade was talking to people about it, and they all read the news, and they kind of misinterpreted this. They kind of misinterpreted this as being like the Canadian dollar is going to get weaker. I should short the Canadian dollar. I want to short the Canadian dollar. Most people don't know because Forex has kind of fallen out of fashion. It's really easy, by the way. The reason people don't trade Forex anymore, currencies, is because cryptocurrency, basically, because foreign exchange markets are open 6 days a week, 24 hours a day. So one less than cryptocurrency is open 7. But it's only closed, it's closed good Saturday and most of Sunday. But that was your original degen trading method, because you can have tons of leverage. In other words, you can set up probably $1,000 account and then trade $100,000 worth of a currency and make money that way. I would say start with a $5,000 account. But the other thing that I'm in, same setup, is the Chinese yuan, Chinese currency versus US dollar. And what do we have here? Let me take out this secondary spike. Don't need that right now. We have yet another situation where you have, this is a little bit shorter time scale, but 2022, 2023, 2024, bottom, bottom, bottom. And what do we have here? A spike and reversal. And by the way, you can get down on the 5-minute. Well, not that currency. Let's see. Hang on. You can trade Forex on the 5-minute, the 1-minute, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. These things take a long time to play out, by the way. These kind of trades on currency markets, but you can get some big moves in here. This is a weekly that I'm looking at right here. But what this is all based on what's going on, it's all the same trade. This is the dollar, and this is the dollar index. And the dollar index is an aggregate of the US dollar versus a lot of international currencies, mostly euro. Euro's like 60, 70%, maybe even more. Because if we do euro USD, we got to flip it to make it look the same. USD euro, yeah, it basically looks the same, doesn't it? Yeah, as the dollar. And so DXY, yeah, same kind of thing. And I've been watching the key 102 level of the DXY for 2 or 3 years now. Because these things move. They're kind of old man stuff. They're kind of old people stuff. They're not as exciting as, cryptocurrency shitcoins with, 8 decimal places. But they move slow, and you can make some good money, especially if you keep yourself small and you just kind of let the long-term charts play out. But what does this mean? Well, it's actually kind of in line with just a standard correlation of equities going up and the US dollar going down. And you got to think about it this way. People are trading US dollars for equities. Okay, think about it that way. So it's not always been an exact inverse correlation between the US dollar and equities, but you would expect a normal correlation for it. If the stock market is going up, the US dollar is going down in value. Okay, because stocks going up is risk on. Okay, people want to take risk. Equities are seen as risky because you get more return. And then the US dollar, as the world's reserve currency, is risk off. And so they kind of have that sort of relationship. And so, like, as we're getting more and more bullish, as we're getting more and more risk on, equities are going up and the US dollar is going down. Now, does that mean that this is bad for the United States economy? No, it doesn't. In fact, it actually kind of means the opposite, because what happens when you have currency devalued, what happens when you have the value of a country's currency go down is now its exports are cheaper because you need less dollars to buy their exports. And so you can get more exports, you can get more American goods for less US dollars. And so that stimulates the exports, it stimulates the internal economy at the expense of other people's economies, because it increases their trade deficit instead of our United States trade deficit. And so let me bring that all back. So when you're reading all these news articles about the dollar is failing, or the dollar's buying power the thing I saw on Twitter this week, the dollar's buying power has decreased by 10% in the last 6 months, more than at any time in the last 40 years. Okay, that's probably true, but what is the dollar doing over the last versus other currencies over the last 10 years? Because remember, currency is an old man game. Okay, we got to think long term. We got to zoom out, bro, as they tell us in the cryptocurrency space. So July 1st, it's basically going to be about the same. So versus other currencies, we're back where we were 10 years ago. And again, like, yeah, your buying power is the same, but look at how much you've gained in equities and risk assets, crypto, everything else. So that should take a little bit of the scary out of when people are trying to be like, oh, FUD, dollars down. Or what about for the last 20 years? And if we go back to 2005, How much is the dollar up? Well, the dollar's up about 13% over the last 20 years versus other currencies. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. However, if you're going to be a contrarian, as I am, now that everyone's talking and fudding the US dollar, what does that make me want to do? That makes me want to look for a long. So, but that conflicts with my dollar CAD and my dollar Chinese yuan. So if I look at the volume profile of DXY to kind of get an idea, oh, we can't do it on this one. Let's do the euro then. What are we looking at for potential levels of support resistance on the euro? We'll do it from this to here, and there's probably going to be something in this. Oh, we can't do it here. Well, that's the limitation of Forex. The volume is not always reported because it's such a decentralized market. Can't do volume profile. But let me think about that a little bit more. We'll see how my trades pan out. I want to get the dollar CAD down to 134, and I want to get the Chinese yuan down to 684. So we'll see if that happens, but it's going to take a while. So let's look at some cryptocurrency. Of course, you know my favorite is Monero. It's not just it's my favorite. I just think it's the only real cryptocurrency out there because when people buy Bitcoin, they think they're getting Monero. Monero is actually what you want because it's actually private money. And I called it. We'll see if this holds. The 292 50% retracement from the swing low in April up to the God candle high 420 on the dot on Kraken. Was it 420 everywhere? That's RUST. By the way, Kraken is pretty much one of the only things that you can go to find it for 2019. Yeah, Coinbase has never offered Monero, which I think is a mark of pride, honestly. Coinbase, not even once. There was actually hold on. There was some news on Monero this week. What was the news on someone that was caught this week by the FBI? And they normally used Monero, but used Bitcoin. Let's see if I can find the actual tweets. I should probably save these, but I saw it on my feed. There was a British cybersecurity student that was Intel broker. He had been doing he was a black hat hacker, apparently. In other words, he broke into things and sold their information. And by the way, guys, if you got symbols to look at, put it in the chat. We'll look at it here as we're getting into the last phase of the live stream. But yeah, he was this guy, Intel broker, 20-year-old guy. Stolen data, black hat hacker. That's what they do. They break and steal data. And he got stung. There's a sting by the FBI, and he only did Monero. But the FBI agent persuaded him to accept a $250 Bitcoin payment for stolen access. Wait a minute. So he was doing, well, who knows if they're doing $25 million in damages. But anyway, yeah, he made one exception and accepted Bitcoin as payment instead of Monero. He broke with his standard operating procedure, his OPSEC, his operational security, and yeah, he actually went and he deposited that Bitcoin in Coinbase. What an idiot! What an idiot! What an idiot! I'm sorry, I mean criminal. Oh, crime doesn't pay. But yeah, what an idiot! What an idiot! Coinbase, not even once. Not even once. But yeah, if he kept on using Monero, he wouldn't have found. So private money. So we're gonna see if that 292 holds, but unfortunately, if Bitcoin does flip around to out of the consolidation into bearish again, it's gonna bring the whole cryptocurrency down market with it. But we're kind of in that little, what is it? I mean, what really invalidates Bitcoin short for me from this point is getting a weekly close above the all-time high, which now, the all-time high is 111,965. So, everybody, look, everyone's annoyed by Bitcoin at this point. I read social media. There's a lot of people that have home projects they're waiting on. There's a lot of people that want to buy a house. There's people that want to retire, and they're just like, why is Bitcoin not X, whatever price we think it should be? Why is it not 200? Why is it not 150? Why is it not 1 million? It should be there. It's like they're all sitting back and waiting for Michael Saylor to pump the price to make them rich. And yeah, just in the history of finance, you don't really get around, you don't really have instances where people are all convinced that this thing is going to go up, and then they just sit back and they just kind of meme for it. But then again, hey, this time it may be different. Who knows? But in case it isn't different, yeah, we'll see. But this is what I'd be looking for to invalidate Bitcoin being bearish up here and having an actual chance at going to wherever they think it should. But unless we get that, it still has failed the weekly breakouts, and it's just stuck in the middle with you. Yeah, it's annoying. Consolidations are annoying because things don't move. And you know what? As I keep saying, whoever they are, they're not going to let this thing die. There's so many interest in Bitcoin going up. They just keep pumping money into it, and they can't get it up. There's a dirty joke in there somewhere. But we'll see what happens. What's ending up happening? I was talking about this on the live stream chat on Discord right before I started, kind of resuming that. Last week, I made a post on TradingView and put it on Twitter and everything about like if then. I'm not gonna sit here and do predictions because I don't know. I really don't know. If you try to predict Bitcoin, people have been doing it. I'll leave that to Cointelegraph and those articles they printed. As a trader, I'm looking at both sides. Okay, if it does a confirmed break at all-time high, it's going to go up, or at least with a high probability. Lacking that, it's going to go down. And where's it going to go down to? It's going to come down to the 50% support at 93K. Okay, and so now that would look like something like this. Okay, let's actually get a line out to do the timing. And let's just say it comes down and hits it. Again, if we go up and we close above it, all bets are off. Have fun. It's going to go bullish to whatever you think it might be. Actually, I'll bring that up in just a second. I'll look at let's update the logarithmic chart. That'll be fun in just a second. So let's just say that it takes out to July. Just July 22nd. Let's do a month from now. Okay, we'll get another month of just boringness. Okay, now if it comes down to here, what does that do to our momentum, our Chikou? I'm using Ichimoku here because it's important, because I've done the video. I've got videos out there. When it comes again, I'll redo the statistics, but essentially when price gets above the cloud at the same time that momentum, the Chikou on Ichimoku on the daily chart, that has been the best for the last, what are we at now? 16 years of trading Bitcoin to use for ascertaining the trend. Is it bullish or bearish? And so that's what you want to look for. Right now, it's kind of neutral because it hit the cloud. Momentum's here, but it was bullish as of April 25th. It went bearish back on February, and then of course it went bullish here. And so that's kind of the way to do that strategy. Got a whole spreadsheet for it. We'll update it when and if it closes below. But that's the gist of the strategy. Price and momentum on the side of the cloud at the same time means bullish or bearish. And so if we go forward and we say, okay, what happens to momentum then if we get to that point? Let me just go back here and show you like here. So this will be kind of analogous to that situation we were in here at the beginning of the year, where price is kind of going down, going down. And then you go kind of, it tries to make a new all-time high. It does. But now you've got price. Oh, caught it. You got price below the cloud, but momentum, the Chikou, is not yet out. Not bearish. Let's go forward a little bit. Day by day by day by day by day. And then we finally got momentum on the bearish side at the same time price is. This was a short. I took and it came down to where? Bada bing. Did it come down to 50%? Yes, it did. The 50% remains undefeated. So that was really good support to close it short. And of course, some volatility ensued. Tried it again, tried it multiple times. Didn't quite break below it because there's a lot of manipulation here. A lot of volume came in to keep this from liquidating too many people back there when we had that March and April drama. But this right here was a Sunday and Monday where they weren't in the office to hold it up. But anyway, fast forward to today. If we hit this level, let's just see. That will do it. Okay, so if we hit this support on or after July the 20th, then the probability shifts to this breaking the bullish trend and it trending bearish. And then that's not going to be good for the bulls. They'll still be optimistic, though, I'm sure. I'm more confident still on Ethereum, which it has also come up and held its. I don't need to for this. The whole gist of the Ethereum trade short is big old 50% of the trend starting in December down to here, held multiple times, even faked some people out there. And now it's made a little trend. And then this week it came to hold the 2496, let's call it 2500 level. And yeah, I still remain pretty confident about that as well. All my shorts have hit their stop loss. Consolidations suck, man. I mean, they suck for traders because my mentor years ago said that's when they take your money. But you either have to get small and have wider stops, or you just have to wait. You just have to wait. But trust me, everyone's pissed off right now, Floor. Let's go back and catch up with chat because I've been kind of on a roll here for a second. But yeah, trust me, Floor, everyone's mad. People aren't as rich as they want to be in crypto right now. They thought they'd be retired, and they're not, so they're aggravated. They start talking about, oh, there must be fake Bitcoin out there that they're selling. There's no way that Bitcoin's only 107 right now. I mean, guys, like, do you see, when did this trend begin? January of 2023. You've had, what is it, 20, almost 30 months? How many months have we had? You know, we've had almost 30 months of a bullish trend. How long do Bitcoin bull trends last? Maximum 33. Like how much more 31? Like really, guys, like I'm speaking past you guys because anybody watching me is not bullish on Bitcoin, I imagine, because I constantly talk about it going down. Yeah, so 26 bars bull trend, 31 bars bull trend, 33 bars, and we're at 29 now. How much more do you think you're going to get? But this time it's different, I'm told. This time it's different. This time everything's wrong. All the bets are wrong. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, Bitcoin Treasury Company, accretive, dilutive tactics. Yeah. All right. So, want to look at D Nut. Jeremiah. Sorry, Jeremiah. I know you asked me that. So is this D Nuts? Krispy Kreme. Okay, yeah. All right. Ooh, that looks pretty dead to me. Jeez, what did they do wrong? See, it's really, really hard to like that, isn't it? Let me do this for you. That looks a lot better. That's if you reverse it. So, yeah, would you buy this? If you were someone that was like a breakout trader, maybe. But the problem with this is I don't have anything to go on to buy this. I want to buy this just to be a contrarian, but there's nothing to go on. Whereas, you know, the big win for this year for me One of them has been Dollar General, where I'm missing a week there. Okay. Big win has been Dollar General, which, you had this whole this whole section of price action draw volume profile on. Right there gave you a level at 71.21, and that's where it hit and held this week, this year. Sorry. Got to sign for that. And then, of course, there's Hershey's. Same thing. And Mondelez. These have been the big out of left field, what are these kind of things that I played earlier this year. And also, I'm not in this one, but this was brought to my attention as well, and I feel remiss that I missed it. But Nike, big section of price going all the way back to 2015, volume profile level at 52.22, and kiss and run away from. And so, like now, especially this year, after having these kind of good wins going on. If I'm looking at something, I love to see something that looks like this. I mean, yes, I love it when people on the live stream, because one of the reasons I do this live stream is for idea generation for everybody. And I love it when people come to me and they're like, hey, what do you think of this? And then I can go and find a reason to buy it. But I need a reason. And unfortunately, this is literally just catching a falling knife. So I wish there was something going on there. You're long at 265. Well, let me not poo-poo it just yet. Okay, so you got a little bit of structure for me. I mean, try to let it form a little bit of structure. Like you have this. Okay, okay. Well, so the important thing for any trade or investment is to know and admit when you're wrong. Okay, I've had to do that a lot when it comes to Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. I'm still Michael Burry in 2007. So you got this post earnings low. That's significant. You got a little fake out of it here last week. You can know when you're wrong. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with this. And by the way, we need to note this. Palantir, which I see has a big sell-off today, doesn't really dent it. It's still pretty bullish. But Palantir was one that I bought about 9 based on a friend's recommendation. But I sat and held on to this throughout the whole mess. It went down to 6, so it wasn't that great. This was a total back hold, but my position was small, and now it's doing pretty good. You wish that your wins were bigger, but yeah, you don't want to put a bunch of money into it and see yourself lose 30%, do you? That's the enigma of investing and trading, isn't it? Position sizing. But yeah, so that was one where I was just kind of doing it as a friend. And now I still have 200 shares. So yay. Wish it was 2,000, but yeah. We always wish our wins were bigger. That's this kind. It's always going to happen that way. It's always going to feel that way. Trust me. You're never going to get around that. All right. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Check Discord. Oh, thanks, Carson. Yeah. It's Jen. Yeah. Let's see. Hood. Yeah, okay, so everything Jen said, Hood offers Canadian dollar futures. Yes. Well, you can do futures on anything basically. It's 6C. If you want to pull it up on anything, you can do Canadian dollar futures, but futures are going to be big. If you think about futures contracts, any futures contract is going to be a lot of margin, and it expires. Whereas if you just do Forex, it's so easy. It's just like a spot. The price WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. The price that you buy or sell it at. That is the price that you're going to be trading. So it's better to open a Forex account because the margin requirement is going to be much smaller. I mean, I'm serious. You can control a lot of currency. Well, just put it this way: you do things based on pips. Okay, and so 1 pip is basically the 4th decimal place here. And if you take, I have to do my math here. If you take Tell you what, because I have to use my next layer brain. Let's do this. Give me a short explanation of pip values for different sized Forex contracts for the USD CAD as an example. So it's going to be like $1, $10, 10 cents, and you can and that's another advantage of Forex trading is you can really size your position very granularly, if that's the word. And so a standard lot's 100,000. That's like $100,000 worth. And by the way, to do something like that, you probably only need like about less than a $5,000 account, honestly. But then what you can do is every single pip value can be about $7. So in other words, if you came in here with a small account and you traded, and let's just say that you knew exactly what you were doing and the future, and you sold it here, and then you bought it back here, that is 64 pips. And so that would be, what was it, 730? So 64 times 7.3, that'd be $467. And you could do that with less than $5,000 account, probably even less. And so that's why people liked it for cryptocurrency, because you had this massive leverage that you can play around with, and you can be very granular. You don't have to take a full standard lot. You could then size down to a, what did they call it? There's a standard lot, and then there is a mini lot, which is 10,000. Now you're only trading 73 cents per pip. So now you made $43. And you can go even lower, and if you wanted to, and you can do that. And so Forex was the original, like I said, degen trading method, because it was open 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, from like Saturday or Sunday night American time to Friday evening American time. And yeah, you'd be up at 2 a.m. trading it. You shouldn't, just because you can doesn't mean you should. All right, MCD. Let's look at it. Let's look at these symbols. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. And you know what? I'm gonna like never mute my microphone. I'm just gonna let my fat ass squeak in this chair and just let you guys hear it. I'm not gonna try to protect you from that. So no more mutes ever again. All right. 30-minute spike at the 50%. I like it. I like it. I like it. Where is it? Where is this? Where is this? On McDonald's? Where are we looking? 30-minute spike on a 50%. Let me just clean this up. So we got the low back here in July of 2024 to the high up here. Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what happened? I turned off the secondaries. There we go. Oh, yeah, man. Well, you got to tell me about these things when they happen, bro. Can't take it now. Damn. That's a good one. Jeez. Are you in this? Are you in this? I mean, I'm going to mark this up because it's a good 50% level, 284.93. That's what I wanted to get. I did a spike on ADP this week on Monday. And it just like, oh man, look at the price here. So I had the prior price action here, had this spike on, well, actually the spike was on Friday of last week. Sorry. I took that long, worked out pretty well, got up to the 2-to-1 risk reward, and then it spiked out again. Okay, now I see. Hold on, let me see if that did that on trading on Thinkorswim. Yeah, okay, now I know what I did wrong. I was not diligent about it. Yeah, okay. So if I had been watching on Tuesday, I would have known with a spike in the other direction, that would have been an exit condition for me. And so that wouldn't have been a stop out. That would have been a small profit. So it worked if I had not been lazy. What was I doing on Tuesday? I'm usually up. I don't know. Maybe I was just being lazy. Oh, you did tell you took it? Why did oh, we did talk about that, didn't we? Why did I not do it? Hold on, let me see. MCD. Let's see. 625. Oh, you know what happened? You know what happened, man? I got to talking to Mr. Brownstone and I missed it. Oh no. Well, I'm glad you got it, bro. Glad you got that, bro. Dude, I'm worried, man. I'm worried I'm getting some old timers, Alzheimer's. All right. Good job, man. Good job. That's a really good log. That's great. You're already, I mean, let me help you out here. So you already should be, if you're going on just basically the 3-to-1 of this spike. You know what happened, I think? What I was doing, I'm trying to think back why I missed this. You notice how on the indicator, and you can do this too, I turn off and on secondary spikes, because what happens if you have them all on is you'll get too many, you know? And so what I think when I looked at it, maybe I didn't see that. Or I think I might have just not looked very closely at it. That's a really good level. Damn. Good job, man. Good job, man. See, the student has become the master. Anyway, where's your target? You tell me where your target is. I mean, if it was me, I would say GG made some, take profit and then leave it alone. It's going to be a pretty good stock. I don't think you're going to make much in terms of dividends off of it. Yeah, that's not much dividends at all. And 2.5% dividend. Yeah, I know you guys invested. Thank you. Yeah, you know, sometimes coffee. Sometimes I wake my morning. I do my morning, and yeah, I waste time in the mornings. Oh, miss stuff. That's annoying. Anyway, let's see. We got any other symbols to look at? Oh, ARE. I'm gonna kind of poo-poo it. I don't like REITs. But let's see. That's just me being a naysayer. I don't like REITs because I think they take too much in fees. But hey, look, that's at the level. I don't see. I've used volume profile on stocks. I don't know about REITs, but you know what? We'll keep an eye on this one. So that's the kind of stuff I love. I love to buy stuff like McDonald's just so that I can like make comparisons between what everyone's talking about on social media versus what has been ignored. Like for instance, from the point here, you're up 2.3%. Yeah, whatever. That was just 2 days ago. What are we up? Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, you would have made more in Nvidia. LOL. Okay. It would be cool if you would have made more money in McDonald's and Nvidia. So, all right. Thank you guys for hanging out. We're back next week. Q2 is done, and we'll see what we can buy. Obviously, there is a lot of stuff out there. I'm gonna be kicking myself by the McDonald's not being diligent enough, reading my own Discord chat. But anyway, join the Discord and ping me whenever I don't have my sound on. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend. Oh, wait. Microsoft. Late. Microsoft soon closing monthly candle above the past high. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's look, you don't doubt stuff at this point. Like I'm not trying to go short the AI stuff, the AI plays. Everyone agrees that these are just the best thing ever and they're going to go on forever. I'm not going to try to be smart and short them. I already own Palantir, I already own NVIDIA. I've already got Microsoft. I don't have Apple. Don't really care about Apple. And I have Google. And so I think I got enough of these AI plays already. Yeah. Good stuff. Don't get cute. Just let them play out. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody.